Hi, I welcome you to this new yoga class and I hope you enjoy. Good practice. This time we are not going to do the first two exercises like we used to do in the first and the second class. We are going to do a little bit less. So you can do a little bit more than the rest of the exercises. Normally we have to do these two exercises every time we start our practice. So just enjoy. You put all the weight on the heels. Just start with Tadasana to feel what's happening in the body, to try to find the differences between the left and right side. Just try to feel what's happening in the body. Where is the weight going? Which side is holding you better than the other one? Which side feels lighter than the other? So we are going to move the weight on the left heel by pushing the right heel away from us, and we also push the big toe on the floor to increase the internal rotation of the hip. The right leg is free to take the ball. We do some circles. Keep your weight on your left knee, on your left heel. Try to connect the left heel to the crown of the head. Try to feel what's happening in the hip. You can use this exercise to pet your dog, for example. But you have to be in a balance on one leg. You can cross your fingers and palms down, put them in the back behind you. Then you can do some circles. Stay on your left heel. Keep pushing the floor with your big toe. Feel what's happening with your breathing. Try to keep your pelvis horizontal and facing front. You can tell by the two little bones here. Try to feel what's happening in the body. Try to feel how efforts align the tissues in the leg. All the leg is engaged. Then we are going to put the heel on the floor and push ourselves toward the ball. But to push ourselves toward the ball, it really means I push myself with my back heel towards my front heel and not I fall on the ball. Simply. There is an action which pushes me towards my front heel, and then my front heel brings me back to my back heel, and I keep bringing these little pressure points, You can excuse me. Then I come back to feel what's happening in both legs and in both feet. Take your time to feel what's happening, how both legs are reacting, how both feet are reacting, how is the weight going on the floor. And then I'm going to push myself towards my heel. It's my left heel that pushes me towards my right heel. I push my right big toe on the floor to increase internal rotation in my right hip. My left leg is free to keep exercising with the ball, massaging. I can do circles, I can do signs of infinity. I can do triangles if I want, or squares, or little tiny circles. Again, we can cross the fingers and put the palms down behind in the back. And I keep pushing my palms down. It's not that I just leave the hands like this. It's like I have a pump between me and I'm trying to push down the pump to inflate my wheel of my bike. There is an action that pushes the palms down. Keep all the weight on your heel. There's no reason to keep weight in the toes. You can put your front heel on the floor and then I push myself towards my heel. It's my left heel that pushes me towards my right heel. This massages the foot but wakens up also the posterior fascia. And then I will leave the ball to feel what's happening in both feet and in both legs. Make a little comparison between the two sides. Try to feel what's happening. And then we leave the ball and we are going to use the inclined plane. This time I'm going to do both legs at the same time, but you can do as we did before, once at a time. So I bring myself in balance and then I put my heel on the inclined plane. I keep at first my knee flexed and then I will bring myself towards my front heel and then I will lift the next one. But you can stay inclined here. You don't need to be straight facing front. Once you are in a balance in the heel on the inclined plane, you bring the other foot to put your fingers at the same level as the other toes, and then you put your other heel on the floor, on the inclined plane, and you stay here, you stay flexed, you stay bowing towards the front. Keep all the weight on your heels. Let your pelvis stay behind you to keep all your weight on the heels. Let your pelvis get back, stay in the back. There is a flexion in the hips. If I was in profile, you are going to see in profile, it's like I don't need to be straight here. All I need is to stay on my heels. So I stay bowing like this till my calves are stretched. I cannot get straight, but also till my internal rotation is not sufficient, I cannot get straight. I will stay inclined. So we are not going to stay as much as we used to do in the first and the second video, but I suggest you to stay in these two exercises every time you start yoga. And maybe I will cut you a little bit of a video, so you can play this one with the two exercises and then start with your yoga class for the next sessions. There is a lot of work in the back of my hip that is trying to extend my hip. But if it's too strong, it's going to take me back, make me fall towards the back. So I stay here with a flexion in the hips and I wait for the calves to stretch. So we are not going to stay more, we are just going to go back on the floor to feel what's happening. Feel how your weight is going on the floor. Where is it going? Is it going on your heels? Is it taking you towards the back? Is it taking you towards the front? Is there any imbalance between the right and the left side? Try to feel that. Try to feel also the differences in the pelvic zone, in the back. We are going to work a little bit the extension of the ankle, and for this I am going to use a little block which is not very thick, but maybe you don't need any. And what we are going to do is just we are going to stand on the heels, put the heels really close to each other and put also the knees really close to each other. And just I'm going to sit on my knees, on my heels, and I try to sit in the back of the heels, as much as possible in the back of the heels. So this brings an extension in the ankle and stretches a little bit the ankle and also the anterior part of the shin, of the tibia. And here you can stay as much as you want. It brings a little more pressure in the knees, but it's not so much, it's alright. if you have difficulty in sitting like this and your ankles cannot be in as much as an extension like this, you can use a block to put in the front of your tibia and let the ankle stretch as much as possible. If here the ankle is stretching, you can stretch it like this, but also you can put something else like a cloth or a little blanket or whatever you want in this part of the tibia. And if it's alright, then you sit on the floor. So if you sit on the floor, stay there. Just try to sit as much as possible on the back of the heels and to keep close the knees and the ankles. And you stay there just to let the front of the tibia stretch, tibialis anterior. You can do this. If you are very advanced, you can also add something in the back of your ankles, so you can go more in a more advanced extension. Yogi is saying yes, of course. So this is an extension that can evolve, and it's necessary for flexion to be easier. So I think you have stayed now sufficiently, but it's something you can do when you sit, and it's something that should be repeated. Here, when you are on the floor, you shouldn't have any problems staying there for a long time. It's next levels that can be more interesting. Staying on the floor, it's like the basic level, but I am pretty sure that there is many people who cannot extend the ankle as much as is the necessary minimum. So we can evolve anyway. And as we speak for the front part of the ankle and the tibialis anterior, it is logic to speak about the quadriceps. And we are going to try to stretch the quad, but it's like the first step of the stretching. We are going to need a chair. And as we have a chair, we are going to stand before the chair and put one foot on the chair and try to descend the knee, one of the knees. So this is flexion for my ankle and extension for my hip. I keep the pelvis horizontal and facing front. And what I want to do is, from here, try to put all my weight on the heel and push the carpet towards the back to open my hip. My action here is pushing the mat towards the wall with my back heel. My front heel is pushing the chair towards the front to resist these forces that come from my back leg. So there are two forces here. One horizontal that is on the chair going towards me, towards the front, and one on the floor going towards the back. These two forces equilibrate. This is what keeps me in the posture. As much as I push here the chair towards the front, I need to push the mat towards the wall, and I stay here. This is the action of propulsing me towards the front. When I walk, I should do this every time. I should push myself towards the front with my back leg. I keep the two actions in the two legs. The rest of the body is doing nothing at all. My belly is free, the respiration is free. I am here in preparation of the warrior posture. Keep these two actions. Then we are just going to push ourselves more with the front leg to come in a balance in the back leg, and then I can just put my foot on the floor. And I am going to also do it here. If I put my leg on the back of the chair now, there is going to be the both forces, but here I'm trying to work with the flexion also. I keep my knee at the outside. I don't keep my knee here in face. If I keep my knee in front of me, it's not possible to flex as much. If I keep my knee towards the right, then it's possible to keep it here. And I keep pushing the chair towards the front and pushing the mat towards the back. This is the second option of the exercise. It's a little bit more intense for the left leg, for the extension of the left leg, and a little bit more intense for the flexion of the right leg. And this stays active. Keep pushing, keep the two actions here. Once you feel that you are tired, you can come back, put the other leg in the side and feel what's happening both sides. I'm going to put the chair in front of me so you can see the geometry that is linked to this axis. You saw the geometry is linked to this axis and you need this one. So I put myself in front of the chair. I come in balance in the right leg now, and I put the left foot on the chair. I flex my knee, I flex my back knee. I push myself towards the back with my front foot, and I push the mat towards the back with my right foot, with my right heel to be precise, and I keep the flexion in the knee. So you keep these two actions. And here we are working with the femoral, the straight femoral muscle. The other muscles of the quadriceps are not so much concerned in this extension. So here you see my knee is in front of me. And I keep both actions. I will come down on the floor. I will turn the chair to show you now what's happening when I put my foot on the back of the chair. I am behind the chair. I bring myself in a balance in my right heel, and then I take my knee to the upper side of the knee and not here, and I put my heel on the back, and I let my knee towards the exterior and not in front of me. So I keep pushing with my heel behind me to the mat. It's like I want to bring the mat towards the wall behind me, but the mat is not going to move. I keep my pelvis facing front. My belly is free, I'm not contracting it, and my respiration is free as well. And I keep pushing with my heel on the mat towards the wall behind me. Keep this action, feel what's happening in the body. Keep both actions. Feel what's happening, starting from your heel to the crown of your head. And then you come back. You can put your heel on the floor. I'm going to remove the chair. Feel both sides of your legs. Stay there. Feel what's happening in both sides. I am going to sit in Vajrasana. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift myself up on my knees without moving my back. I'm going to come in a balance in one heel, in one knee, and I'm going to bring the other one, the other foot before in the front, not before, in the front. And then I'm going to start pushing myself towards the front with my back heel, with my back knee, and I'm going to push myself towards the back with my front heel. And there is two actions that are going to find the balance between them. If I bring a lot of force, there is a lot of effort. If I bring a little bit more of force, of pushing in both sides, there is a little bit more, less effort. Try to find the right amount of effort without searching for the maximum of effort till the beginning. It is important to stay long in the posture. So you keep pushing yourself towards the back with your front heel, and you keep pushing yourself towards the front with your right knee, with your back knee. Feel how respiration is changing, feel how your belly is finding balance as well. Try to concentrate in these sensations. Try to stay in the posture. If it's already enough, you can come down, put both knees in the same level and sit as possible as back. Sit in the back of the heels as much as possible. There is no difficulty in here. Why? Try to feel both sides. Feel what's happening in both eyes, in both sides of your nose, in both nostrils, in both sides of your chin. And then you're going to come up on your knees again. Find balance in one knee, bring the other leg on the front, and start the two actions of pushing yourself towards the front and pushing yourself towards the back. If my front leg does not resist and my leg behind me pushes me, I'm going to find myself here. Toujours, always going towards the front. If the other leg is not working as well and I push myself with the front leg, I'm going to find myself there. And again, I'm going to fall anyway. But I just want to say that there is an equal effort between the two legs. Try to feel what's happening in your hip. This is a preparation for Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, as Iyengar have called them. Once you feel that you are tired, that is enough of effort in your hip, you can come back. But I suggest you to stay at least 2 minutes each side, in every version of the exercise we do. So now this one is a version where we can evaluate by using blocks, for example. So if I come again in my knees and find balance in one knee, I bring the other one on the blocks. And here I will let my knee a little bit towards the right. And I start again with the two actions of pushing myself towards the front and pushing myself towards the back. And I continue these actions. And it's again a preparation to the second warrior. And you can stay there. What we can do is put our hands on the shoulders and try to make little circles with the elbows. Really low, really low. Keep the actions in the legs. I'm going to bring the elbows as close as possible and come up without breaking the back. And then open and come down. Once more. You want your elbows to stay close as long as possible. And then we are going to come down. Just sit to see what's happening in both sides. I'm going to move the blocks for the other leg. Feel what's happening in both hips, in both legs. And again to the crown of the head. Everything that gives you sensation, but also what doesn't give you any sensation. And then I'm just going to come up on my knees, bring myself in a balance on the back knee and bring the other leg in the front. And I start the actions of pushing. I'm going to bring my arms in an external rotation. Make space in the palms of the hands. And then I'm trying to bring my palms together really slowly. It's only the arms that are moving and not the shoulders with them. As little as possible. Keep the actions in the legs. Once your palms are together, you can bring the elbows in front and bring your hands down, keeping the elbows together. And you can let the weight of the shoulders and the arms in the palms of the hands. And you stay there. Keep the actions in both legs. And then I'm going to come back down. Feel what's happening in both legs. I'm going to remove the bricks and the block. I'm going to come back in front. Put yourself in the front of the mat. Just feel both legs. Stay on your heels. Feel what's happening with both legs. I'm going to come in a balance in my right leg. So I put all my weight in my right heel. And I push my right toe on the floor. I'm going to make a big step behind, which means I need my right leg to push me towards the back. It's because I let my knee come down that I don't make a high lumbar lordosis. Let your heel go towards the back and let your knee come down. Try to find a balance and you stay there. We can also bring the arms up. Don't create a false curve in your back. You can grab your big fingers, your pollice. I don't remember this one. You cross them and you bring a traction in the arms. And if you can put as much as possible your knee towards the floor. And you stay there. when you feel that is enough, you come on both legs, and with your back ankle you push yourself towards the front. Feel what's happening in both sides. It is important to restore the propulsion of the legs so we can walk normally. In fact, if we walk normally, it means we don't fall on the front leg in every time we make a step. It means that we push ourselves towards the front and the back leg is active, and we come on the front leg without a shock. If there is not enough length in the quadriceps, what happens is that the hip does not extend towards the back. It stays like this, and it's not possible. So what's going to happen is simply this. We lift the heel too fast, so we cannot push ourselves towards the front. This is why it's important to extend the quads. So to do the other side, we are here in both heels. I bring myself towards my left heel. I push the toe on the floor. The other leg is free to go behind me, and I'm sure to find something to step on. So it's not necessary to be afraid here. With your front knee, you push yourself towards the back. It's like I had a wall. It's like I had a wall here before the knee. And when I push myself towards the back, it's my knee that pushes me towards the back. And I let the knee come down. I let the heel go back. And I find extension here. This is interesting, doing it with the brick. But it's as interesting as this, to try to just bring yourself towards the back, to bring more weight in the back, so more effort for the extension. And here we are in the warrior two posture, and we can stay there. If I cross fingers and I create a traction, I create space between my shoulders as well. Let your belly free, don't try to force anything. You can also put your knee on the floor. If this is too difficult, you just stay in the exercise we did before. You repeat twice. And you stay there. And then you can lift yourself and push yourself towards the front with the ankle. Try to feel what's happening in both sides. What we are going to do is we are going to prepare for dorsal flexion. You put your chair on the mat and the heels on the mat when it comes to the heels. Take a break in front of you. And you are going to sit in the back, really in the side of the chair. Open your legs. Open your legs, right? More, at least cut 90 degrees, at least. So like this, we are going to try to flex towards the front, and it's only here that is turning in the hip joints. So if I show you in the profile, it's only here that I'm coming down. My belly is coming down. I don't change the back here. Back stays with the same form, with the same shape. And then, so I'm going to do it facing front. What you do is you push your heels on the floor to keep you on the chair. And you can, for example, stop descending with the block, with the brick, or on your knees, or putting your elbows on your thighs. You let yourself flex. Don't go very fast. You don't need to go fast. You can only be here in the beginning, and gradually you will come a little bit more, and it's going to happen only in the hips. So keep the weight on the heels. Let your belly free. You have one part of your weight on the chair and most of it on your heels. Keep your belly free. Keep your respiration free. If you feel that you can go deeper, you can put your hands on the floor, but keep your elbows in the inside of your knees, and don't let your knees collapse in the inside. Yogi. Just try to stay there. Try to feel what's happening in your respiration and in your belly. Is your back completely free, or are you contracting your back? Don't contract your back. You can just stop yourself here with your brick and your elbows. Keep all the weight on your heels. Keep all your weight on your heels. Give time to the flexion to become more important. Stay on your heels. Let your weight do the work. Try to lengthen your neck also. Push the crown of your head towards the front. Try to concentrate in your sensations. This is a posture and you can rest also if you want. You put a chair here and you can rest. Then you come up. You are not going to sleep right now. We are going to a similar posture. This is a preparation of this one. And what you are going to do is come with at least 1 meter length of distance between the feet, and we are going to flex towards the front. Notice that I don't change the posture of my back. I always have here my little lumbar lordosis. I don't create here something false. I don't feel here my vertebra. I feel my muscles and the little gap that is between the muscles. And I stay on my knees, on my heels. I don't need to go really deep in the posture. I'm going to stay only here, and I'm going to try not to sleep in both sides because my other carpet is slippery. So the question here is to keep as much as possible of your weight on your heels and not on your arms, because I am sleeping. I am just stay here with my heels, so you can also see a distance, and I keep pushing my head towards the front with the weight on my heels, with my big toes that are pushing the floor towards the earth. Try to feel what's happening in your legs, in your hips, in your knees, in your ankles. Do you have any pain? You shouldn't have pain in your knees, for example. Try to keep all the weight in your heels. And with time you are going to be able to go deeper in the posture without changing the shape of your spine, only by rotating in the axis of your hips. Don't block your elbows if you are using your hands. Try to create space in your perineum. Don't contract all your muscles. Don't contract your ass. All the anal zone, all the pubic zone. Don't contract anything voluntarily. Try to give time to the flexion to happen. Keep all the weight in your heels. Feel what's happening with your breath. Don't block your knees as well. Keep your knees a little bit flexed and you push your heels on the floor to bring more length in the knees and not to bring them towards the back. To come up, you just bring your pelvis towards the front. So this helps you be able to flex your hips. It's not as easy as it should be. For example, we don't anymore sit using our hip flexion. We don't use anymore hip flexion as we should. There is really a loss of mobility in the hip. So with time, this is necessary to keep, because otherwise we have problems with our legs and we need surgery and everything. But the question is, if possible, to stay as much as possible in the heel, and we can get up like babies. We are going to just try to sit in Virasana also. So we have to stay with the knees really close to each other. We come up on the knees and we bring the calf muscles towards the exterior with the hands. And then I bring my feet, both sides, towards the exterior. And I will bring a brick to sit. So in the beginning, I do this to facilitate rotation in the tibia, which facilitates rotation in the thighs and in the hips, the hip joints. sitting in Virasana, it's possible to do it like this, and it's a little bit more tricky if I want to come down, because I need to have more of the weight on my pelvic bones and not on my knees. But if you have problems with your knees, this posture brings more pressure in the knees, and more pressure means heat, and heat means synovial liquid that can heal more the zones, the articular surfaces. So this is an interesting thing to do because it releases really deep tensions in the pelvic muscles. And for example, for people that have problems with sensations of the pelvis, feeling the perineum, feeling how it's moving, or maybe also pregnant people, that this is posture you should try to take if possible, because it helps you release tensions from your pelvis, from your pelvic muscles, and especially the internal rotators of the hip. Don't try to sit without a block, because it makes you sit with the back that's falling behind. Just bring a block, it's going to help you sit better. And then it's time for a little Savasana, which can be just replaced by Virasana. Or if you are really motivated, you can just go with Savasana. You cross your big toes and you create tension between your big toes. This will bring your thighs in internal rotation and is going to put you on the third sacral bone of your sacrum. With your hands, you are going to try to create length in the mat. Stretch the mat behind you. This is going to replace your elbows and replace your shoulders, and then you release everything and it's Savasana for you. If you want, you can attach your feet with something like this, a little rope. Also, this can release some of the tensions in the pelvic zone. And then you can enjoy Savasana. Try to feel what's happening in all the points of contact with the floor. To begin with the heels, then you go up towards the calves, towards the thighs, towards your pelvis. Feel if you have any tensions over there. Feel if you have any tensions in your hands, in the inside of the hand, between the fingers. Any tensions that come up towards your forearms and your arms. Try to feel what's happening over there. Feel the tensions on your neck. Feel the tensions in the back of your head, where the neck connects. Feel the tensions in your face, around the eyes and in the eyebrows, in the elbows, in the eyebrows, in the front. On your cheeks. Feel what's happening. Try to find parts of your body that are not saying anything. They are probably the ones that you should listen. And I hope you enjoyed this little class of yoga. It's necessary to prepare what we are going to do for the next classes. So I hope you are repeating the classes and you are evolving in your physical practice. If you have any questions, just put the questions on the comments. And I would really suggest you to repeat the videos of every Sunday in the following week, and then start a new video when you feel ready and when you feel that you have already worked the video before this one. So I will tell you a little bit goodbye and see you soon in the next session.